Hello? Okay, so I'm really nervous, but I have this monologue that I've been memorizing since last night. So I hope you guys like it. I'll give you some context. In this play, several affluent couples arrive at a party in a highly upper-class house in New York. When they get there, they discover that there are no servants, the hostess is gone, the host has shot himself through the earlobe, the host, Charlie Brock, is a deputy mayor of New York, so they all want to keep it quiet. However, when the police arrive, they decide someone has to be Charlie. So in this scene, Lenny, who is myself, is pretending that he is Charlie and making up the story for the police and it is entirely off the top of his head. Okay, the story. As it happened, as I remember it, as I'm telling it. Oh, goodness. Here it goes. At exactly 6 o'clock tonight, I came home from work. I walked into the house, I grabbed a bottle of champagne and headed upstairs. My wife, Myra, was in her dressing room getting dressed for the party. Rosita, the Spanish cook, was in the kitchen with Ramona, her Spanish sister, and Romero, her Spanish son. They were preparing an Italian dish. As I walked up the stairs, I thought to myself, how amazing it is that after 10 years of marriage, I'm still so in love with my beautiful wife. Myra was putting on the perfume that I had bought for her for Christmas. I got it on purpose because it drives me crazy. I tapped on the door. Tap, tap, tap. She opened it, and I handed her a glass of champagne. I toasted and said, to my most beautiful wife of 10 glorious years of marriage. She toasted and said, to the best husband of the best 10 years of life a glorious woman could have. We drank, we kissed, we toasted again. To the loveliest skin on the loveliest body that hasn't aged a day in the 10 years of wonderful marriage. And she responded. To the gentlest hands that ever touched the nicest skin that hasn't aged a day in 10 wonderful years of marriage. We drank, we toasted, we kissed, we drank, we kissed, we toasted. By 7 o'clock, the bottle of wine was finished. Bottle of champagne was finished. And my wife was sloshed and I was completely toasted. And then I smelled that perfume, the perfume that I just can't resist. And in that moment, I loved my wife with such passion and ardor that we haven't had since we were newlyweds. I don't tell you this out of embarrassment. I tell you out of great joy and pride and a love that has lasted and grows greater with every waking moment. By 8 o'clock, the sun was going down, and as we laid there spent, naked in each other's arms, in complete happiness, there was a gentle knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. The door slowly opened, and a strange young man holding a knife stood over us. My wife screamed, "Ah!" I ran and got my gun from the drawer in the other room. My wife covers herself with a towel and shields herself. I run back into the room, wielding my pistol, ready to save my wife's life. And the man with the knife said, in Spanish, "Yo quito se dablo enchilada con queso en 5 minutos." I don't know how to speak Spanish. And I didn't know that the knife was to chop the salad. And I hadn't seen Rosita's son, Romero, before. And so naturally, I aimed my gun. Miro dropped, hit my hand, the gun went off and shot a hole through my earlobe. Romero ran downstairs to tell his mother, Rosita, and his aunt, Ramona, Mamacita, el loco hombre. Okay, bang, bang. The crazy guy took a shot at him. At this point, my ear was bleeding profusely. But we heard a car pull up, and we knew it was the first guests arriving. Myra ran downstairs to try to stop Rosita, Ramona, and Romero from leaving, because if they left, we wouldn't have any dinner. They drove away in their Alfa Romero, and I looked out the window, but it was dark. And I thought someone was stealing my good old Mercedes-Benz, and so I took another shot. Bang! Nothing happened. I run downstairs to go check on Myra, but what I didn't know was that she had gone into the basement, fallen down the stairs, and passed out in the basement. All I saw was the open door. I ran over, I locked the open door in case the weird man came back. By this time, the pain in my ear was excruciating, and I ran upstairs as fast as I could, but there was blood on my fingertips, and it got in my eyes. And so instead of 4 aspirin, I ended up taking 4 Valium. I heard the guests downstairs, and all of a sudden, I couldn't speak anymore. I decided I need to write a note. So I started writing the note, but it looked like gibberish, and I didn't want them to think it was a suicide note and then call the police, because that would just be ugly. So I tore the note up, I flushed it down the toilet, and right then they walked into the room. I couldn't speak, and they were just asking me, what happened? What happened? What happened? And then I passed out on the bed. And that is the true story, or my name isn't Charlie Brock.